morning, everyone. Aloha. This is Jason Schwartz. I'm your host here at the Neutral Zone. Hi. 88.5 FM, KAKU. We're in Maui, Hawaii. We're also simulcast on Akaku Maui Community Media Channel 55. And we also are on the net. You'll find us at MauiNeutralZone.com. You'll see all our shows. We got a bunch, 150 plus shows, plus all the archives that I've done over the last 30 years. So it's quite a spot there. And we're happy to have you today. Today is August 28th, 2023. I invited a guest. He's busy doing prayers and getting together with groups. He'll be here next week, Reverend Kadar St. John, who's from the Temple of Peace in Haiku. Beautiful brother I've known for, 30 years. And it's a very sensitive time. Here in Maui, the fire was 20 days ago in Lahaina, Kula. The fire, the day of fire, 8/8, the Lion's Gate in the astrology people. But I'm not sure how I feel. I feel like Maui is ground zero. When the world is looking at us, they may say, oh, let's not have any travel to Maui, but Maui needs travel. And the only spot that's affected is the west side. So, the west side is a challenge, but the rest of Maui's fine. Come on, tourists. I'm happy to have tourists, but this is very volatile and personal time. As they're announcing, they find that some of the people that have died in the fire. I call it a wildfire. We'll see how you look at it anyway. But these are, when I see faces, I got here in 1988, and 88 to 91, I lived in Lahaina and had my life, lived on Front Street, had my business dress on Front Street, all the concepts for what to do and why we should. Well, they're on Front Street. We're in Lahaina. The amazing timing, there's a meeting in a couple of days, the Disaster Resilience, whatever committee at the council, and I happened to look at their agenda, and there was a report in July that they're now going to talk about the horrible situation going on with the grass and potential for horrible fire. So, what do you say? Crazy time, crazy situation. I want to start by giving gratitude to the powers, however we identify God, and take it personal. How beautiful we were not there in that fire. And those that were in the fire that have perished, you paid the ultimate price here on earth. You gave up your physical life. And blessings to you. And all the people that are suffering, that know there are people they know that are still missing, and the people that made it out that are in all kinds of condition and all kinds of situations. Prayers and blessings to you. You know, there's two kinds of help. There's help that takes care of the acute. And that's happening. The Maui people are incredibly beautiful. That isn't just some arm in Lahaina or a head that we cut off and say the rest of the body can work. We are all one here on Maui. We are Maui strong. Lahaina strong, yes, but Maui strong, yes. There are people, and brigades of people, amazing numbers of people preparing food and boats with all kinds of supplies, supplementing what has now been developing with FEMA, Federal Emergency Management Agency. But I don't think they're reaching everyone, and I know a lot of people that haven't seen them. It gets to be a blurry line between people that are suffering that were in Lahaina or people that were suffering that weren't in Lahaina, because we're all involved with Maui that live here and that are here. And this pain is very personal. And the reason I didn't have guests these last 2 weeks, they've been involved in that very personal, loving, holding the love concept. Kadar is a reverend, and he's been getting on all kinds of things. He's got another one today at 1:30. Global alignment, putting out love and support in the spiritual realms for people of Lahaina, people of Maui, people of, and beautiful concept. And Bodhi B, who has show here also, Doorway to into Light, who does funeral stuff. He's the only green funeral director here in Hawaii. He's I was going to bring him, but he's been busy. He's trying to raise money so that all the homeless and fire victims, if they need to get buried, can have so without worrying about the money part. So it's amazing that we're all aligned. I yesterday went to Temple of Peace, and Kedar was there, and it was I thought, intimate group of about 30 maybe, which is low when I've gone there. And the prayer was about love, and it was about supporting the people, and how we all are one, and how we are the ones to focus on the joy and what can be and what is. And as I was listening to the songs, I thought, wow, that's Kedar should be on the show. So I invited him here for today. But he's got this, like I say, this worldwide broadcast at 1:30, and 6 o'clock yesterday, aligned with people all over the world, out at Ahimsa Temple, where Ahimsa Sanctuary, which is where Blue Mountain, may he rest in peace, lived with his wife and kids, and beautiful farm. They've been creating and doing Hunger Heroes and getting meals to the homeless and getting meals to the people on the west side. But they didn't even know Kedar when he said, "Oh, look forward to finding out what you've been doing." You know, people don't know on that side. There wasn't cable available for so many years. They don't really know what I've been working on. But when I hear the themes, I think, wow, I guess I really am deeply seated in the generation that I was in. I'm a hippie, or I don't know if a hippie, a yippie. I have a neighbor who started the Yippies with and went to Chicago. You know, we have a very rich community here of people with all kinds of Maui names, and some of them have their real names. Like there was a guy on the street that everyone knew as Mauka, black guy that we saw. He painted coconuts and faces, beautiful, nice man, Mauka. One day he came to me and told me his other identity. He was a WMCA reporter in New York on radio when Malcolm X was killed. He was in the third row. He saw exactly what happened. And he knew he had to get gone. And 50 years ago, he was coming to me because somehow CNN found that he was here, and they came in to Maui, and he wanted to do the show and talk. So you'll see an interview I did with Gene Simpson on there on the website, MauiNeutralZone.com. You can also find it at MauiArtsAndMusic.org. If you look under video, you'll see that goes to the Maui Neutral Zone page, which has the place where you can search by name, by category of shows that we've done. And, you know, there are a lot of people that I didn't put in by name yet. So you're going to see 30 years of Maui. There's another brother who passed away, Todd Swan, who people here at the television station and radio station and people of Maui on the, I want to say, on the spiritual side. But Todd Swan did just video everywhere. He was my idol. He was out there covering all kinds of events. And Jonaki, his partner, if we can get those videos and integrate them into our site. It all takes money and time, but our site, MauiArtsAndMusic.org, MauiNeutralZone.com, is an archive of people and shows of the last 30 years of Maui. I was also doing political interviews, and I put some of them up there. I don't know, maybe 100 or more, but I've been doing interviews and watching some of the people that are in our government now. And you'd say, well, that's not what they said back then. That's what they promised then. There's lots of promises not kept. And there are lots of promises kept. There are people that are true to their word. You know, a guy that I really have appreciated and respected is Brian Schwartz, our U.S. Senator Brian Schwartz. I've only met him a couple of times, but I really see he's been a champion for the people here. And all this controversy now, Josh Green. I like Josh Green. He's a very real guy. All these things about cover up, we'll all see where all the dust settles. We know that the world is investigating what's happening here. I don't know that I know of any city, town that was wiped out. We talk about the Paradise Fire. That's in the middle of remote California. Yeah, it definitely is meaningful. And everyone that passed away in that whole community, that's all meaningful. But this is the seat of the Hawaiian kingdom. It may have moved other places, but this, in my mind, that's what Lahaina was, and that's what Lahaina is. And the fact that it's there and that the Hawaiians want input onto what's going to happen there, I totally see a seat at the table. In fact, some people think they should be the ones setting the table. That the United States, this is a time where they apologize. They should be giving back Hawaii. They should be giving back pieces, or like the Indians. We don't know where that's going. I surely don't. But I do know that the wisdom and the great culture of the Hawaiian people, the music and the art and the wisdom. I like to bring that up a couple of times because there's innate wisdom in these islands that hasn't been explored. I've had good fortune to be around some nice people, but I know that I haven't really gone into depth. I've just met some extraordinary, beautiful, loving people, Hawaiian. And my friend now for, 30 years, Lono, who's over on Molokai, lonomusic.com. You guys on radio, you can't see me, but go to lonomusic.com. Lono, when I first got to meet him, and he sold me his cassette collection, a couple of big apple crate boxes of cassettes, because he was switching to DVD. Here's a guy that learned so many songs and was out playing on the road here and on the mainland, Hawaiian, and came back here and settled in, started writing songs. I was very fortunate, got to know him, and we really bonded. He wrote a few songs, let me sing a few that were, timely. We never really did anything with him. I think we're all waiting for the time when the world checks in with us, and now all the archive becomes good food for the growing of this incredible dream, this dream Maui, that was conceived of 30 years ago, and people that were here will tell me way before that the Hawaiians were the dream of Maui. Well, to integrate the old and the new, to use the best of the old with the progress of the new, and give our local Maui community in a global way not only recognition, but give them an opportunity to compete, or let's say cooperate with the world, and be the example here in these small islands of what self-sustainability on all levels means. It means we don't take our arm, Lahaina, and say, oh, that's the arm. We're in repair. We are in repair. We need the tourists here. We hope they will honor the fact that West Maui is right now off limits, and that, I'd like to see what's going on and help, but I know I'm probably better serving everyone through these kinds of roles than be out there with a shovel or creating excitement and angst over what people have done wrong. I have lots of opinions there. Like we say, we're the neutral zone, but we're anything but neutral. I question deeply why no signal was let off. Well, yeah, we get it, though. If they were off island at some conference and are relating from a distance and knowing by what the books read, and but I cannot easily accept that there were no alarms sounded beyond my understanding. And all the different pieces of on and off switches on power, and who did this and laser that, and the people of Maui and the people that were there and the people from our island and all the people that want to help, let's just give a blessing and move away from here and learn. Punishment can happen. It will happen. I mean, some of you who appreciate Donald Trump might not like hearing me say, but truth comes out. And I don't know if Donald Trump serving from behind bars makes a lot of sense. I don't think him running makes sense. But I don't see a lot of strength in the Republicans. I don't see a lot of strength in the Democrats. I don't see any clarity. I don't see any marriage that's bringing it all together. So we have to do that here. We have to do that here locally. Whether we get help from whomever, we know. That's why people come running from the east side of Maui and go to the west side and help, because we are one and we are self-sustainable, and that's who and what we are. We take care of ourself and we give out extra, but we are here and we stand for all the people of Maui. And if I have food and you need food, I'll give you some of my food, because I know we can grow food. I know we can take our waste and our green waste and convert it into power. We can take and create water. Can you imagine a system that takes our green waste and only uses 20% of the water that you put in to create it, and that you can create water out of the air, and that you can have power out of the air, out of the green waste, and we can grow superfood, not with any kind of chemicals, with the things that are in the growing matter. All this stuff is not, I guess you could call it that expression of, it's not rocket science. It is, right? It's all the wisdom that all the technology has given us. If married up and compared to and cooperated and looking at what the natural things that the Hawaiians and other cultures have put into the mix, and we see what they are and how they affect our body, we understand that what hasn't happened is the things that don't make the biggest money haven't been shown, and that the Western pharmacological industry, pharmaceutical industry, doesn't want natural things to be shown because there's no profit in it. And we're heavily invested in trying to figure out how to feed all these people. Well, we're going to figure out how to do it here. And many people say they know. Well, I'd rather do trial and error in a self-sustained community model like Maui. And that's why I came here years ago. I looked, and my ex-wife was here, but I was looking because I was in the solar business. I was in the solar business on the mainland. We were the solar exchange and then the energy exchange as things got... We used to sell solar and also sell other electrical appliance reducing usage devices. And many times we could reduce the bill, even if there hadn't been solar, we reduced the bill 35% through conserving the power on other appliances way back when. Now appliances are built in. And yet we see old appliances in our Hale Mahaolus and some of these senior places. They still have high-priced utility. Why they have the old refrigerators? Because it's no more expense for the guys. They have to put in new refrigerators. That's new expense. But the old ones, utilities are paid for by the tenant. Some of this stuff has got to be integrated. I hope some of this stuff will all get washed out in our rebuilding of Maui. And, that I don't know who and where all this rebuilding powwow is, but I think our audience all around the world, but our audience here in Maui, would like to have input. Here at the show, we have a call-in show. That means sometimes we have guests. You may want to call in about what they're talking about or something I'm talking about, or maybe you have just something you want to talk about and want to bring it to our attention. 808-873-3435. If you're watching TV and simulcast, you'll see 808-873-3435 in the bottom right, I think it is, on the screen. And remember, KAKU 88.5, you can get it on those radio apps and catch it all over the world. There's lots of sound apps all over the world. So people here in Maui might say, oh, that's public access radio. Yes, it is. But we're also, sometimes we have Pacifica radio. So, wow. But we are local Maui, the voice of Maui. 88.5 FM. I'm very happy to say that. We are Maui. Akaku Maui Community Television. I was here and went in their first class I remember the teachers were Don Couch and Bob, who was a videographer on the island, and Chivo Ching Johnson, who's still here, and some great people that are still here. Jay April was here too. You know, this is a great place for freedom of speech, and all around the world they should take the example. I think Akaku has been celebrated all around the world in video and audio. But we're here, and around the world, we want you to get to know KAKU FM 88.5 FM, the voice of Maui. I'm going to take a break here in a few minutes. I'm just looking. When you can't see very well, I looked at the clock and I said, oh, what time is it now? Okay, I can't see the third column over. I have challenged seeing, have challenged hearing. When I started doing this, I was, got here in 88. I was 37 years old. So now I'm 72. So virtually half my life I've been here. And the people that I see dying and they're accounting for each day are my family, my Maui family. And I don't see racial lines. I feel that we are all one. And I don't ever honor people that want to separate, and that's why you don't see me joining environmental groups or joining groups about different other areas because I like to stay the neutral zone. As media, I like to think that people coming and seeing me realize I have opinions. But someone once said, I'm sort of like the Larry King of Maui. I've done hundreds and hundreds of interviews and shows with all kinds of people. And we hope the world will grow up to and join us at the Maui Neutral Zone and be part of what we do. Because in this rebuilding, we're going to be interlinking with video and audio and motion picture and radio from all over the world. Now that the world, if you didn't know who Maui was, which is pretty extraordinary, Maui has been the #1 travel destination, or sometimes maybe it's slipped to 2 or 3, and the beaches in the world, in all the travel magazines that we see. But also, we who live here know this is the heart chakra of the world. If you dig through straight down, who do you get? Israel. What? How does that Middle East... I'm not as much in touch as many are, but we are in a very special place, and those from here know it, and they know about the land of Lemuria, and they know about there's all kinds of stuff we know about. And some people say, oh, that's woo-woo. You know what we discover? We discover that the ancient stories many times have basis in fact. We just haven't uncovered that yet. We haven't discovered what we already know, what we already knew. You've heard that expression? We have to wake up and realize who we are. We have to really come to understand that we are all together. I'm so proud of the people of Maui for jumping into this situation and helping the people there on the west side and helping the people that made it out that are here on the rest of Maui. Blessings to all the people that are involved. First responders, second responders, 80th responders, everybody that helps. Maybe that will be the new way for the world, through seeing what we do, through sharing what we do and who and what we are. We are one. Right? We're one. I'm going to take a break. Oh, I think I'm probably still a little early for a break, but I want to read you some things because I think they share my ideas. Sometimes when I look at my website and things, I find that I'm so wordy. And when I'm talking to you guys and I'm alone, I could go on and on and on. But I want to go and give you an overview and then get into a specific area. And I'm going to be tying together with shows I've done about different of these areas and bringing them current and looking for new guests who want to give new input or work with me and us toward implementing some of these things here, or putting together a central, neutral zone council, if you will. A council of what? Elders, wisdom. Everyone wants to be wisdom and elders, but we want input to see what we can do to be the best, to let everyone live their life and help each other. I just keep going back to that. I see such polarization happening in our country. I see it happening in many ways in some of the people and different things here. But this event, these catastrophic events with fire and the horror that it has created, maybe we'll soften the hearts of some. Like I say, I'm not focusing on any of the who did what wrong. I'm focusing more on the souls that have moved to another realm and the people that are here that want to bring the wisdom to the world, that want to be able to take giant steps on accelerating solutions that can make this world livable for the human race for as long as we can envision. And I know that no one expects the whole world to follow in quick pursuit of these dreams that we set. But we're going to make them profitable. We're going to make them so that the people of this island all stand up and cheer, and that the people that come here stand up and cheer, and that people all over the world cheer. Because wouldn't it be a smart idea if we, who are this travel destination and this place that's being looked at, wouldn't it be a good idea if our art and our music could have a platform for the world to come to be able to explore the visual art, the healing art, the music, the host culture, other cultures here on Maui. It's people, it's love, it's sharing, all the different pockets of wisdom that come together. The amazing environmental leaders that we have here who have done things and have been trying to bring things forward to be able to share. So, you know that thing about you're either in the game or you're above the game. You're either playing checkers or you're playing chess. A lot around here happens because they play checkers. We're all in this game and we're a moving piece. But that's what coming here like it did for me. Those first early years when I spent in Lahaina and looked at what was going on here, I saw that the things that I could bring to Maui in wisdom. That's why I got involved with the Integrated Resource Planning Advisory Board in 1992, I think it was. It might have been before, but 92. And I found it really intriguing. They had an in-depth report, and that we learned as a group, both the utility company and different agencies and the citizens that were involved and interested. I was sitting next to a guy, I remember, he may be dead now, but Zond Energy. When these people were here talking about wind, it wasn't here yet. We talked about ocean thermal energy conversion. We talked about solar. We talked about cogeneration. I brought ideas there about solar and light and but these things really never got pursued. It wasn't steady power. It wasn't this. It wasn't that. We had receptive people at some of the companies in those days. Tom Giserni at Maui Electric Company, very, very open and interested, but obviously we don't know why he left, but I can tell you he was a progressive guy, and I can almost guess that certain things that he wanted were too expensive. Burying utilities. We talk about burying utilities so we wouldn't have a possibility of a pole coming down like we see happening in fires and all the 30 years ago. We've been talking about this stuff so long. But the question has always been, it costs money. It costs money. Well, that's, again, why I came here. I came here because of the energy component. Because I knew that the highest utility rates in this country were in Maui, Hawaii, Maui and Molokai. And the second was New York. What? Yeah, Con Edison, New York, where I had been from before. I'm a refugee from Brooklyn, New York, and New York, New Jersey area, and came to California, 15 years doing that. Loved being in the solar business. I had a really unique situation going on. There was a contractor that was putting in solar energy systems, both residential and commercial, for many of the solar companies there because they were very efficient and very skilled, and their guys were really good. They were Israeli guys. Very nice guys. I got to meet them. They tried to set up their own division as All Sun Solar, blah, blah, blah. But over time, they gave me the ability to use their contracting license to be a broker. So I could offer any of those companies and be able to find the best bid. So I became the largest, no one knows, largest solar energy broker in Southern California. But my notions weren't to take the glory or the money from these other companies. I took that idea and brought that here with me, you see, because the core of the Maui Arts and Music Association, at the time when I was living in Lahaina, Sherry Carden was the president of the Lahaina Art Society, and she said, "We got to do something special for the Art Society. We're here at the Art Society under the banyan tree, and it's 25 years." And so I presented an idea with her about art and music coming together, and that kind of idea that I spoke about is the core of the Maui Arts and Music Association. And the charter that we developed was developed with the core of a guy named C.T. Ryder, who was developing a television station that became the Spanish-speaking station in Oahu. But I incorporated different pieces and created this unique thing that when we sell art and music and our products, that we take a percentage of that, as much as we choose, and reinvest it back in and create. You sell art and music and put money back in and create an economy and give major money to environmental solutions and be at the cutting edge to implement solutions before some of the world so that we might showcase these amazing things right from here. And I heard, like I said, President of Maui Electric, he heard me. And Pundi, I booked the Cultural Center's first New Year's Eve, inside, outside, all around the town. And then I got a call from Pundi Yokouchi. I thought, wow, he's the big man. He's the one that's been helping raise money to build this cultural center. Why is he calling me? He called me because he recognized the significance. I'd booked the whole place for the first New Year's. We were going to be globally announcing the Maui Arts and Music Association and wanted to have, which we may now be pursuing now. So I hope everyone out there will help me convey these stories to the right people. Shows at the major hotels every month that would get the best of and deliver them to our Maui Arts and Cultural Center for an annual show with a product that had booklets. Way back before there were CDs, they were cassette booklets, then it's CD booklets and DVD booklets, and now it's online, so it's all grown up. Before there was an American Idol, there could have been a Brown Bags for Stardom or Mama Presents, Mama presenting to the world. Well, world, we're coming back, and we're coming strong, because some of the people that you've seen here in Maui are amazing. Some of them were kids then, are now stars now. There are people that have been here. I remember seeing when I first got here early on, Eric Gilliam was doing a show, and lots of others, in the Rocky Horror Picture Show and early shows, and there was this guy that was really good also named Jamie Foxx. Wow. And we've had people here that are fantastic, and we have tremendous depth of stars here. People that have not only star power, but a lot of money that could be supportive in different ways if they chose to. You know, where did Jeff Bezos' $100 million go? And thank you, Oprah, for the blankets and pillows and whatever you did there at the shelter. But I want to see and speak to some of these guys, because I see many ways that we can integrate a plan. They're only some of the money. The money will come from the sales throughout the world of our art and music product. Our art and music business now doesn't have a physical art presence. They may be slow to want to get involved with us unless they see what we're going to be doing is going to give them a platform that's easy for the world to remember. Mama, Maui Arts and Music Association. Mama and Papa are the Dream Makers Foundation. You take an idea, you add some action, you become a maker of a dream. And that's what we hope Dream Maui is. What's your part in making Maui better than it was? Well, it's hard to replace what's gone. Only we can do is bring the spirit and as much knowledge as we've recorded or can have reemerge. You've heard me say the things again and again because they're that important. Take the best of the old and the best of the new and marry them together and let the local people decide what they want. But the natural things that will come out of this, somehow when things are right, they can be right for everyone. Isn't that what right really means? It's right, always right. Not right, but those people are left out, or those people are left out, or now these guys, they haven't this. That's not the way I think, and you can see by the actions of the Maui people, that's not the way that we think. This is still a hot and burning issue, and it's hard to really exactly, for me, move forward as we're coming through this very sensitive time, which needs to be honored. All the people that have passed, all the people that are in mourning, all the cleanup, all the things that are going on have to be honored. And the ideas that need to be honored about what we want to see, not only for West Maui, but all of Maui. I don't know if a new election now is appropriate, but I sure know that I'd like to see the mayor's office and the economic development people reach out. I don't know how many times I've had to call that office, talk about homelessness, and I don't get the mayor. I can speak to him during campaign time. Well, yep, he's busy. I hope he'll find the time, or his people will find the time to come and be in our show, to call into our show. 808-873-3435. We are Maui, and the people that listen to this show, the people who put on this show, we are Maui, and we want to know that you, our government, is with us. And people think, oh, public access TV. Well, public access, we're not paid for by the great media. We have to have donations. So please feel comfortable to give donations. We and Akaku and KAKU all live on your donations. Some of us, I don't. I'm living incredibly humbly. People on the mainland that hear my situation are always amazed. How are you able to do that? You've given away all your resources, and here you are. I don't require very much, and somehow everything seems to be working out. Thank you, God, I'm going to take a break. Let me see how the timing is. Got to put glasses on. That says 28:13. We got plenty of time. I'm going to take a break, and then we'll see what we're going to do. Maybe some music next. I think it's really important that I decompress, and that we all decompress. But it's hard to decompress when the situation is right here, right now. But we're going to try to do that. Let's go to some of our donors and sponsors, whatever we're supposed to call them. Here we go.
15 seconds, we'll be on the air.
KAKU 88.5 FM.
Okay, here we go.
Kahului, Maui.
Quiet, please.
The voice of Maui.
You can see that I don't know how to hit these buttons right, but someday I will have someone doing this for me, and that will be
Maui's free speech station.
a great day.
I give no strings, I have good fun. I no more ties within me one.
KAKU 88.5 FM.
Aloha. Today on the Maui Daily, we get the latest updates on the Maui wildfires. We meet a local restaurant owner who opened up his home to fire victims. And Kumu Maile teaches us new phrases in Olelo, Hawaii. See it live on the Maui Daily at 5 p.m. with replays at 7, 10, and midnight on Akaku Blue Channel 55, live streaming at akaku.org, or download the free Maui Stream app.
That was Kathy Collins, people of the world.
All Maui, all the time, anywhere you go. Maui Stream for Maui lovers. An all-new mobile app for your phone. Watch Maui's community channels live in HD. Find your favorite programs with custom playlists. Submit your own videos. Listen to KAKU 88.5. Available now on the App Store and Google Play. Maui Stream. 3 islands, 1 stream.
Aloha folks, this is Hamish Burgess and I host the Maui Celtic Radio Show on Sundays on KAKU 88.5, the voice of Maui. 2 hours of great Celtic music, from fun jigs and reels to lovely ballads to funky Celtic rock. That's Sunday morning 8 to 10 a.m. and repeats in the afternoon 5 to 7 p.m. There you go, a bit of Celtic music for you on Maui. Tune in Sunday. Talk to you then. Cheers, my dears.
How's it? I'm Brother Tony from the local show. KAKU is one listener-supported station. That means that all the kind shows you hear, like me, are sponsored by you, the listener, as well as our underwriters. If you would like to help keep the voice of Maui talking loud and clear like that, go to kakufm.org/donate and give today. And don't miss the local show, Monday through Thursdays, live at 1 p.m. on 88.5 FM, the voice of Maui.
Wow. Someday I'll be able to read this thing here. But like I said, I'm going to have an engineer in the room here with me. You know, it's funny. As I'm getting older, I used to do a lot of this stuff by myself, but my eyesight isn't what it used to be, so I haven't been relying on it. But anyway, we have a lineup of shows here on KAKU that will always be expanding, but there are some great people here. And if you check in at 11 o'clock on days of the week, you're going to see different hosts with different kinds of shows. I know that Thursday Emanon is doing a show, and Friday is Amora. But you'll watch and see these shows and say, wow, Maui's a big place. You know, sometimes people think that we're a small town. We're a small town, but we know we're very visible to the world. The world comes to Maui. And now, with Maui being in everyone's crosshairs, and we all know what Maui is, we're going to find that to be a thing to help our economy from people that don't even come here. Let me read you something. This is written in, and it was in a viewpoint that was going to be in a quarterly newsletter when we started it, but we just did a sample of that. It reads like that. One thing it says is, now is the time. It could always say that. We must get involved. This means you. If we are to succeed in the mission of providing leadership in effecting possible solutions to the needs of this community, we as individuals must make our voices heard and our efforts felt. This is 1991 and 2, people. We can be the hub of an integrated arts council, encouraging supporters of the arts as well as business interests all over the islands to unite and restore paradise. Yet Maui's other organizations need not discontinue programs they offer or lose their identities, as MAMA's intent is to consolidate many splintered interests under one cooperative banner. Since government budgets are already pressed and fail to address our specific environmental needs, this community needs our help. Consider this: art, music, shows, product sales, and leisure spending occur in good times and bad times. Many will buy a painting, poster, activity ride, music, CD, or video. They have videos anymore? Before they will contribute to the funding of a playground or a recycling program. It's clear we must reevaluate our priorities and create a marriage of vision. Art, music, culture, renewable energy, and ecotourism. Then, if we redirect some of the dollars generated by these combined efforts to actualize environmental concerns, all benefit. Wait a minute, this was 30 years ago you wrote this? Yes, 30 years ago. But what'd you do with them? Well, I tried to put it out. The Green Party was just starting, and I got involved there and tried to share it with Linda Lingle and Goro Hakama. That's Ricky Hakama's dad. And they liked these ideas, but obviously didn't really closely and quickly embrace them. Here we are 30 years later. We still got these issues that create massive problems like you see. But anyway, the next paragraph. We have a perfect opportunity to more than just talk, and the perfect reasons, knowing that our very survival demands attention to these matters now, because tomorrow is too late. Let's lead by example. Let's get involved. Your voice can be strong. Your voice can matter, just as a choir is formed from many little voices singing together in harmony. There is great power in unity. Let us unite in a meaningful purpose and embrace a refreshing direction. Well, that's nice, but again, it was an opinion. I know what happened from that. Well, we tried. I tried to get Roger Dubin to be the head of our company, but he got hired by the Visitors Bureau, recognized our good idea. Wait a minute. Didn't you also say that you had the Cultural Center first New Year's Eve? Yeah, but there was a group that was out already talking to the hotels that hadn't paid their deposit. Now, they were doing first night, an alcohol-free event, and they were out at the hotels, and they undercut my credibility when I went out there. The hotel said, wait a minute, who are you? We had a group here that said they were. And then it just became muddy, and so that's why we've been waiting, and it hasn't been a priority to the politicians of this island, or there is no central group that holds an independent place so that all the groups in the island might feel like it's not divisive. Well, that's what I've been trying to hold all these years. That's what I was talking about earlier. This central thing where we all come and cooperate together and we're all going to benefit. You know, I look at this and then I see the mission statement from us. I'll play music, but I like repeating this because you never know when someone on the mainland who says, hey, we want to be involved with that on a big level. We see what you're doing. We want to be a big sponsor. We recognize that this is something for the whole world to benefit. We're in. Maui Arts and Music Association is to promote art, music, and the cultures of the world to fuel research and development into environmental solutions, thereby creating jobs and creating and effectively diversifying our economy. We seek to inspire individuals and organizations to join and take action to create a better world at peace that is economically stable, environmentally sustainable, and full of hope. We seek to encourage and promote renewable energy and environmental solutions, and through income derived from art, music, and culture projects, create and socially responsible solutions that deliver environmental and economic prosperity and peace worldwide. God, I talk about peace a lot. I talk about this thing. It sounds woo-woo to me. Wait a minute. Woo-woo with profit? Profit? What is profit? We'll see. We offer to share a vision of beautiful future, consciously creating and implementing an economic and environmental integrated action plan. Papa and Mama, Maui Arts and Music. And then there's a thing to a letter to the editor, who was actually published this year as well as in '93, called Hold the Vision. But also on this website in 2000, it was 17, 18, right in there, 19. I wrote somewhere, maybe COVID was starting in 20. So it was right before, as I was designing, it was the beginning of 20. Here we are at the dawn of a new day. That was already 20 years later, right? Or 30 years later. God, we're aligned in a direction and purpose, coordination of the same ideas, participation, an action plan. We agree and we work together on many things in the private sector, not the government. We don't need the government. It's nice to get help from the government, but if we can raise money by selling art and music and culture to the world and be able to raise money to supplement important development technologies here, then we don't have to wait until Mahipono decides to give us land. We don't have to wait to get a piece of land from the county. We can buy the land. And if we want, we can do this and that and be independent and create something that can, just like a utility company in different islands, are owned by the people. Some of this stuff is kind of formulating now with all the problems. Who knows what the future of the utilities will look like here in Maui or in Hawaii, for that matter. So these ideas are not to be considered unattainable. You've heard me say it before, and it's not unique. Get out of our own way. We get out of our own way to do great things. When people say to me, you should be singing. Well, I plan on singing. I plan on doing all the things that I've planned on doing all these years. And I didn't want to just jump in and take. I want to be able to come here and give, create the motion that creates a cash flow outside of this island that's independent. It's not we're getting visitors to come here and pay the hotels so that they can be alive and keep these little jobs alive. It's what we're going to bring to make it better here, bring money in to make the conditions here better. And we'll decide on what better means. But usually, like I say, better is usually better for everyone. And those kind of things don't have to be political discussions, especially if there's money to be able to do them and share with the people the wisdom in the why. That can really be a great way to go at these things. I'm just looking at it's amazing that I can't see well. I can't see how many minutes are left. That one says 11:52. That one's. Is it possible I only have 4 minutes left? It is possible. 4. You know, I never know. We're going to have to get a guy with a gong or a gal with a gong, whatever the appropriate terms are. Because I don't know where my time is. I just keep talking and talking. Bottom line, tourism can match with local people and all these things that feel like they're against each other. If you take the greed piece out of it, best we can, take the greed piece out of it and do what we need to do, we can have paradise and we can share it with the world. And if the world will do these things, we'll get closer than we could be without them toward saving mankind or being the kind of mankind that we would like to be. And again, I'm looking at you. Getting involved is a personal experience. I've been doing this. People say, well, you've been doing it a long time and you haven't made it. We've been doing this as a trial run until the world is ready for the next step and takes it to the next step. I can stand on stage with Elton John and Bruce Springsteen and Lady Gaga and Mick Fleet, all these guys. Could have then, still can now. Let them come here. Let them be part of a global solution that generates from Maui. I don't see how that's anything but irresistible to any star in all the industries of the world. Why do you think the Actors Guild and the Writers Guild are suddenly exploding because they want more money? Things have to be different. The exchange of money has to be understood differently. I don't want to take away democracy. I'm not looking to redesign the world's platform. unless through what we do and the example that we create here on Little Maui and in Hawaii are the example to the world that the world can emulate. And that's really what I know is really a great thing. We do it, we live in it, we prosper from it, and that is how we share who and what we are. We're not just some hotels and some beaches on a getting more and more crowded basis and nowhere for anyone to park, and we're becoming like a mainland place. Well, we don't have to be, and we can do things right. And there's so many things that we're going to explore. We've explored some up to now in time, and we're going to be exploring them over the weeks to come on this show, on the TV side. I've been talking to some musicians. We're going to be doing more shows and getting under this cooperative banner. If you're out there and you're in any category, you can call me. You can call anybody. 874-5900. 808-874-5900. That's Mama. Here at the studio, when show's on, you see 808-873-3435. It's funny, when I'm sitting here, I don't know if I'm television or radio, but I know one thing. You can find us at that website, MauiNeutralZone.com, MauiArtsAndMusic.org, DreamMaui.org. That's us. Well, we only have maybe 30 seconds to go before the bell rings and we're out of here. We love you. We're happy to have you. Next week I'll have Kadar St. John. Wonderful, beautiful man. You're going to really appreciate having him here. We love you. Blessings to the people of Maui. Blessings to the people of all the world. And thank you all for being part of what we do. We know that without you, we're nothing. But with you, we are the world. Thank you for joining us today. It's been a pleasure from the Neutral Zone. Blessings and aloha.